Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news comes to us from downtown Detroit, where fire crews are battling a fire. This is happening right in the area of West Fort and 10th Street at the former McCarthy's music venue. Firefighters have been on the scene for about 2 hours now, working to put it out. We have not received word on whether or not anyone was inside, but we will keep an eye on that and updates as they are available to us. Our other top story here at 11, a terrible accident at Disney on Ice at the show in Minneapolis. It is making national headlines, but acutely here as well, because the skater at the center of it is a Metro Detroit native. Anastasia Olson is in the hospital tonight recovering after a terrible fall.
Witnesses say the prominent skater from Novi was portraying Belle from Beauty and the Beast when she went into a lift and either was dropped or fell on the ice, hitting her head and going into seizures. Mara McDonald is live downtown tonight. Mara, we know Metro Detroit has a very tight-knit skating community. They've all heard of Olson. She's a prominent skater from Novi, as we said.
Kimberly, that's right. Everybody's heard about the accident, what happened. They're all pulling for her. We spoke with her former ice dancing partner. He says if anybody is going to get back on that ice, it's going to be Anastasia. Let me show you. Parents and kids flocked to the Target Center in Minneapolis over the weekend to see the show.
This happened about 40 minutes into the show. Within probably, I want to say 20 or 30 seconds, they had made an announcement that they were going to interrupt the show, and everything had gone to like really dark lighting.
Olson is well known in Metro Detroit. Her banner still hangs in the Ice Cube in Ann Arbor, where she and partner Jordan Cowan trained and went on to earn a silver medal at the U.S. National Figure Skating Championship in 2009 in ice dancing.
When we started skating together, we were both still in high school. So we would take half classes, and then after lunch, we'd go to the ice rink and train until the afternoon.
After her competitive career had ended, she excelled at coaching young skaters. The Disney on Ice show was a natural extension of her talents.
What doesn't surprise me at all is that she stuck to skating.
She was portraying Belle in the show and went into what witnesses describe as a shaky lift and then fell to the ice, hitting her head and then going into seizures. The show put up a tent around her while they got her medical help. Her injuries are described as serious, but she's stable.
I know for a fact that she's a skater through and through, that she's going to get back on the ice, someday soon. I know that she's a fighter and she'll do anything for this sport.
Back here live, the Disney on Ice show, its next stop is here in Metro Detroit. And when we were at the Ice Cube tonight, Devin and Kimberly, the rink manager told us that having Anastasia and Jordan skate back in the day, it was a pleasure to have them both. They were a joy. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Yeah, okay, Mara, we're pulling for it too. We appreciate it so much.
Now, also tonight, an intensive care unit nurse at Henry Ford Hospital becomes a patient after routine genetic testing leads to a rare aggressive cancer diagnosis. Ashley Schaefer is one in a million people diagnosed each year with adrenocortical carcinoma. It took a number of surgeries to remove the cancer, which keeps coming back. Our Pamela Osborne sat down to talk with her and talk about the difficult path that so few other people have walked. Pamela.
Devin, Ashley, I can't even begin to tell you how many lives she's impacted as an ICU nurse over the past 10 years. She worked here at Henry Ford Hospital up until over the summer when she received her own devastating diagnosis.
It just still doesn't feel real that this is happening to me, and I just think it's like a nightmare that I'm like waiting to wake up from.
34-year-old Ashley Schaefer was helping to save lives when she learned she was in a fight for her own.
I was about 9 weeks pregnant working in the ICU, and I came home from work one morning because I did midnight shift. And my ankles were super swollen.
It didn't seem like much to start, but soon after, low potassium levels landed her in the ER twice.
What really brought everything together was we did genetic testing on the baby, and it came back inconclusive.
The diagnosis was copy number variant, a rare disorder indicating cancer of the blood or a tumor. And in May, an MRI revealed her cancer.
There's a 14-centimeter mass on your right adrenal gland. And it needs to come out.
Doctors removed a mass the size of a football, But part of the tumor ended up blocking vessels in her heart. She nearly died but survived the surgeries. Her baby boy Noah did not. She spent 15 days in her own ICU. She was recovering when she says she got the news of her worst case scenario.
Adrenal cortical carcinoma, which is a very rare and aggressive form of adrenal cancer.
7 weeks after her surgery, the cancer was back.
But this time it was now in my liver.
Throughout it all, her husband and their girls have been there, lifting her up. Friends have been there too, fundraising to help cover the cost of treatments. Treatments deemed experimental by insurance.
People I never would have expected to buy a shirt sent me their picture, and I'm like, oh my God, it's just amazing to know like the amount of people that we have behind us.
There are good days and not so good days, but Ashley is hopeful about her new course of treatment.
My biggest fear is, not being here. I just want to be around to see my girls grow up, and I just want treatment to work.
Ashley says there are 3 doctors in this entire country who specialize in the type of cancer she has. Fortunately, one of them is located here in Michigan at U of M Hospital. Now, the other part of this, which we already mentioned, is that this cancer is so rare. The treatments are experimental. The insurance companies don't always have to cover it. So right now, the medicine that she's on costs $28,000 each month. It's one of the reasons why her sister created a GoFundMe account for her, why her friends are fundraising, trying to help her out since she spent so much of her life really, truly helping others. We posted a link to that GoFundMe on our website, clickondetroit.com. For now, reporting live in Detroit, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
$28,000 a month. Wow. All right, Pam. Well, you can hear the heartbreak in your voice.
Really.
Now to a Local 4 News update. The first round of samples taken for testing from Bear Creek after last week's spill that's been released now.
Yeah, the spill happened after a water line burst in a plating business in Warren and caused some chemicals to wash away into a sewer that flows into Bear Creek. We're learning the chemicals include metals and PFAS compounds. Officials say the results showed elevated levels of some chemicals, but there's no threat to the drinking water, they say. More test results are expected sometime later this week.
New at 11, we now know the future of a beloved arcade in Farmington Hills. City Council voted to approve a plan to modernize a strip mall at the intersection of Orchard Lake and 14 Mile Road. That is the property shared by Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, which will be torn down to make way for the new development. The plan has been met with a lot of backlash from locals. That iconic arcade was founded there more than 40 years ago. A 15-year-old is in grave condition after being shot in the head at a hotel in Southfield.
This happened early Sunday morning at the Westin Hotel on Civic Drive, just off the Lodge Freeway. Police say a 10th grader at Loyola High School in Detroit is in grave condition after he was shot in the head. Investigators say an adult booked the room for a group of friends, a 16-year-old and 4 15-year-olds, and left the teens unsupervised.
There's no sense you can make out of a 15-year-old struggling for life. And as the deputy chief alluded to, he's in grave condition. I'll say it again, grave condition, and this could have been prevented.
Police stopped 2 teens at the elevator of the hotel and recovered 2 guns, one which was stolen. Police are working to figure out who booked the room and who owns the guns. A somber anniversary tomorrow on the campus of Michigan State University.
It'll mark 1 year since a gunman killed 3 students and wounded 5 others. Classes are canceled for tomorrow, but the university does remain open to offer support. Religious leaders and crisis counselors are going to be available all day at the Alumni Memorial Chapel. There is going to be a remembrance gathering, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow evening. A short program is planned, and that is expected to start at 8:10 p.m. Meanwhile, the university is working around the clock to come up with ways to help students heal after that mass violence. Students have designed the United Resiliency Center to help assist with the aftermath of the trauma. It's a safe space for students, but also for first responders and community members to go where they can feel comfortable. There they will find Wiley, the therapy dog.
She provides comfort when someone might be in distress. Sometimes people don't know that they need some comfort, and she will come to you and lie on your feet or, get close to your legs.
These luminaries with the theme Spartan Strong are available for free at the Resiliency Center to show support for the victims and their families.
Several new laws are set to go into effect in Michigan this week, including gun laws, 1 year after the shooting at MSU. Michiganders will now be required to keep firearms stored, unloaded, and locked, either with a locking device or stored in a locked container. While abortion became legal in Michigan back in 2022, there were still several barriers to abortion care remaining, so the Reproductive Health Act will go into effect soon and repeal most of those roadblocks. Also, third-grade students in Michigan will no longer get held back because of low reading scores. Now students will be placed in reading programs and parents will be given information about intervention options. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on Local 4 News, our Darnell Blackburn will be talking about the new gun laws and the changes for people trying to get a gun.
Former President Trump is headed back to Metro Detroit ahead of the Michigan presidential primary. He is right now, of course, the presumptive Republican nominee for president. He's going to hold a Get Out the Vote rally in Waterford Township. That's going to be Saturday night. He'll be speaking at 7 p.m. at the Elite Jet Center at the Oakland County International Airport. Tickets are general admission, but you do have to register to get them.
All right, well, should be a pretty nice day tomorrow as we take a live look outside. A really nice night. We saw a lot of sunshine today. A little bit less tomorrow, but still not too bad for February. We know how bad it can be around here.
Yes, exactly. We've been on a roll, but we have to pay the piper, right, Kim?
Exactly right. You know, it couldn't last forever, and here we are. We've got more winter weather for the end of the week. But right now, we're watching temperatures fall rather quickly because we haven't had a lot of clouds out there. So 29 in Pontiac, also at Metro Airport, upper 20s in Ann Arbor and Howell, 30 in Grosse Ile, and 32 downtown. There have been a few clouds up in the thumb, but otherwise just partly cloudy skies here in southeast lower Michigan. We'll have a couple more clouds overnight tonight, and we'll call it partly cloudy for the day tomorrow. There'll be some sun, but also more clouds than what we saw today. Temperatures will get into the mid to upper 30s, but you factor in the wind, and it's going to feel more like it's in the 20s. So 37 by 2 o'clock and also 4 o'clock, and then falling back down to freezing by 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So the weather story. No big warm-ups in sight, certainly nothing like what we had last week. Chance of rain and snow both on Thursday, and then the weekend, Friday and Saturday, looks like we'll get a few snowflakes, nothing that will accumulate. It's really Thursday that we need to talk more about, and we will do that because it could affect your morning commute. So we'll talk about the timing of this next storm system coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Kim.